Hi everyone, welcome back. This is part two of the jigs fishing segment, and this is about surface iron. And this is the most popular way of fishing jigs in this area. When people think about fishing jigs or fishing iron, they're actually thinking about fishing surface iron. These are the guys that when you go on a sports boat, they're usually up in the bow throwing long, slender metal lures out and just retrieving it. It's a really fun way to fish, and it can be really productive at times. So if you've never done it, this is the right video for you. Or if you've done it but you want to maybe gain a little bit more knowledge, this is also a good place to be. I'll be sharing with you what I know, what knowledge I have over the years, and if there's anything that you would like to add, please add it to the comments, and we can share our knowledge and hopefully make us all better fishermen. So okay, let's get to it. As we said in the previous segment on jigs in general, surface iron are the lighter version of the jigs as opposed to the heavier version, which is the yo-yo iron, and they're meant to fish on the surface. And there are a variety. If you walk into a tackle shop anywhere in Southern California, you'll see a variety of surface type iron hanging on the racks, and it can get really confusing. I've laid out a few surface irons here for us to view today. So these are starting with the small ones. These are the Tatty 1A. These are about probably the smallest surface iron you'll see out there. Then you get to the Tatty C's, and the Tatty 45s, which are the medium. It's a 7X Junior, which is a small type. And then the larger irons like the 7X. See, this one I use a lot. As a matter of fact, it still has my line on it. It's a Starman 112, and these are the JRI jigs. They're relatively new. They're awesome, and I've become a more and more of a believer with their type of jigs. This is one of their smaller one, the 7, and this I think is the biggest one, the 4. Then more of the Tatty 1A, it's another JRI, this is the 3, and then a 7. This one I use a lot. You can see it's pretty beat up, and that's actually what you want to see out your irons. So those are the typical surface irons. So when you walk into a tackle shop, it can get really confusing of which ones to get. So I'll share a few pointers that I picked up over the years that have helped me out in selecting the right ones. Color, everyone's going to tell you color is not that important. It's more of how the jig swims. It has priority over colors, and in most cases that's true. But then I've seen days where they're key on a certain color like mint. And if you don't have mint, then you're not going to get bit. So it goes both ways. So I guess it would be best to have a good swimming jig in the right color for that day. That would probably be the best way to get bit. So I'm trying to get this knot out here that I had left on for my last trip. So it doesn't want to come out. It's all good. Okay. So what you want to look for on a surface iron is you take a look at it and see how wide it is. And most surface iron are very typical of that wide hip. here. So that's what you want to key in on when you're picking up a surface iron. Wide hips, and you can, as you can see, this one is offset. You want to look for that. You don't want anything streamlined. You want to look for irregularities. It makes it swim better. Better meaning it doesn't swim in a straight line. It's gonna wobble more, and that's what you want. The more wobble it has, the better it'll get bit. As you can see, this is offset here on the side. Another feature you want to look for is where the hole is drilled up top. You want that to be off center a little bit. And if it's not, you can always use a screwdriver and kind of work it to be off center on one side or the other, and it doesn't really matter which side it is. You can tell this one is leaning toward the right more. Swing the jig around a little bit when you're in the shop. Make sure that it has clearance. It's not going to be stuck. It's not going to be stuck on its own ring. That's probably a good thing to have. So just those basic characteristics would make a really good swimming jig. And then you have other surface iron like this 7X Junior. You can see it's a lot more streamlined than the Starman earlier or the Tally 49. This jig is meant to fish fast, and so the body is a little bit more streamlined than the other ones. So for this jig, it's most effective when you're ripping it back. I'm just casting it out and ripping it back to you across the surface. And it's a really awesome jig for yellowtail. So as far as colors, when I was younger, I don't think mint was around back then, or if it was, I don't remember it being popular. I remember green and yellow, but I don't remember straight mint. The popular color back when I was younger was blue and white. Blue and white was almost essential for anything, and also purple and white. Like, this is a really old jig. I think I've had this for over 20 years. You can see how bit up it is. I don't see too many purple and white anymore. Red and white, I've had this also for quite a few years, and this was before red traps were around, and this was bit up pretty good as well. So just get a good selection of color. Just stick to your basic, your mint and any type of mint, or mint and white. Bird shit, which is this is one of my favorite light jig, Tally 1A and bird shit. You can see how it's really bit up here. I use this almost on every trip. So bird shit is a good color to have as well. And again, just look for those characteristics I was talking about. And most of the time, those characteristics apply to tatty jigs and Salis jigs. The newer jigs like the JRI and the OCT, that I have not fished the OCT, but I've heard really good things about them. These newer jigs seem to swim really well off the rack, and I've gotten bit off the rack. So if you want to just make the process easier, just go grab some of those and then start fishing. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. Yeah, I've like I mentioned earlier, I'm starting to fish a lot of the JRI jigs. They're really expensive, so I kind of look deals for them whenever the Fred Hall show rolls around. There seems to be pretty good deals on them. I just load up for the year. And if you watch my videos, I think if you look closely, you can tell that I'm always using the same types of jigs all the time. Not even the same type, but the same jigs all the time, because they get bit and I have confidence in them. So even though I'm always buying new jigs and new type of irons, because I just can't help myself, I always resort to the same few that I always use, because I get bit on them. So there goes that. So that's pretty much the basic of selecting a surface iron. If you guys have any other tips, feel free to add to the comment section and share with all of us so we can all learn a thing or two. Okay, so as far as strategy, you would cast out as far as you can. If if you're not seeing any, if you're just seeing birds flying around and periodic boils or just surface activity, then you just cast out make random fan casts as far as you can and wind it in and vary your wind. You want to wind fast, medium, slow, little stop and start, little jerk every third or fourth cranks type of thing, just to get to where you're getting bit, and try to memorize, to try to remember what you did when you got bit and repeat that process. It's different all the time, day to day. It's even different from the morning to the afternoon. So just try to experiment out there. The another key thing is sometimes sometimes you get bit when you let the surface iron sink a little bit. So in my videos, you'll see me cast out. I'll make a cast, and you'll see me just backpedal the reel a little bit just to pick up the loose lines, and then start letting line out. Just I'll count to 5 or to 10 or whatever, and let the surface iron sink a little bit, and then start my retrieve. And at times that's effective. So those are some of the strategies that you could use. I say the most important thing about this type of fishing is, and to be effective, is the casting. If you're not good with casting, then you're not going to be effective with surface iron. So I would say if you're not good with casting now, just go out and practice until you become really proficient at it. Remember, when you're in a crowded boat, especially in the bow, and there's 5 or 6 or 7 guys casting, it's a tough place to practice. So if you're not sure of yourself, or you're not that great at casting, I would say hold off until you're a little bit better to go up there, just so you don't backlash or worse, hit somebody in the head or something. That wouldn't be good. So practice your casting. All right. So that's another thing that a lot of the really good jig fishermen do to make their jig swim better, which I haven't tried. I might try in the future. Is to wire your surface iron, single strand wire leader, and it makes sense. The philosophies make sense. It's supposed to be to give the surface iron more free action, and I haven't tried it, so I'm not sure how effective it is. But if the really good guys are doing it, it must work. So that's pretty much all I have as far as the basics to get you started on surface iron fishing. Hopefully you can get out there and start catching fish with this, because this is an awesome way to catch fish. And I wish that I had the opportunity to fish other parts of the world with surface iron. Whenever I travel to fish, I fished in the Gulf Coast and the East Coast a bunch of times, but it's so cumbersome to bring a jig stick along with you on surface iron. So I've never done that, but I would love to see what surface iron could do in other parts of the country, in other parts of the world. Now I'm sure it would get bit as well, and would probably be cool. So there you have it. Get out there, chuck some irons, and catch a lot of fish. All right, thanks.